Welcome to episode 130 of the Muck Podcast, a member of the Odd Tots Media Network. Listen in as we discuss the dark and sometimes weird true stories in American politics. I'm Tina Hadamia.
And I'm Hillary Doherty. Well,
yeah.
What did you say to me yesterday when we talked on the phone? We're living in a post-Roe era.
Yeah, we're in a post.
It's fucking wild.
It's fucking wild.
I mean, we knew it was coming, and then Jasmine Rogers, who's so brilliant and wonderful, but she had tweeted yesterday, what's it called? What's the word for the thing that you know is coming? And it makes you angry and you're sad and you're so fucking pissed off. And then it happens and you're even more angry and more pissed off. Like, it didn't lessen the blow, which I thought it would. I thought finding this out a month or 2 months ago would have lessened the blow of this, but it did not. It did not do that. It made it like so much more real.
I've been on the verge of tears since yesterday. I was having a lovely lunch with a very dear friend of mine, my friend Karen, and our executive producer called, and then it was like, well, so much for a nice, happy lunch. Here we are. I don't even know. So today we're really, normally we have our banter. We talk about whatever current relevant issues we want to bring up. And then we go into our stories. But we're not doing that today because it feels like this needs to be the only thing that people need to be thinking about. Because we have allowed the religious right to control our country. Yeah. That there's no more this idea of separation of church and state. It seems like it doesn't exist. We have a SCOTUS who is not a nonpartisan board at all. We have a Mitch McConnell who sole purpose, we've talked about it before, his sole purpose was to fill SCOTUS and all the other judge seats so that they could do this. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. This is the plan. Because Republicans, however shitty they might be, have a fucking goddamn plan that they know how to put into effect and make work.
Yeah.
Because now we have a minority of really evangelical nut jobs ruling our nation. And women have been completely stripped of we're not even citizens.
Right.
We're not even citizens.
Right.
We're in the United States and we're not fucking citizens.
Yeah. Well, the whole point, listen, there's a lot of things to unpack here, number one. Yeah. And I was working on my story yesterday, and it was like my last LGBTQ story for the month. And I said to you, I don't want to do this. Like, I'll do the story, but like, I had all these tiny, stupid things to talk about at the beginning of the show, and then they all disappeared, and it just says Roe. Like, and then I was like, I don't really have anything else to fucking say.
My notes, when I had them, and I went back in, it was waiting on SCOTUS.
Yeah.
That was on there. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, fuck.
Mine was, I mean, here's one limb off the tree, is that Jessica Cisneros officially lost her race. So.
Oh yeah, Nancy Pelosi, you're singing.
Yeah.
What the hell? She was singing yesterday. That Kumbaya, whatever the fuck she's doing. But she supported that other guy.
Henry Cuellar.
Pro-life guy.
Your plan to elect Democrats sucks dick.
Yeah.
Major, huge cock. It sucks. That's why we lose. Because you're not progressive. No. You have no idea what that means. You can barely speak. And I'm not for coming after people and the way that they're like, whatever they sound or they look. But her response, and Joe Biden as well, was so underwhelming. And she's like this because of her teeth. Yeah. And then at the end of a very important sentence, an earring falls off. And I thought to myself, my God, this is the representation. This is the fire and the fight that we need in the House right now.
But it's a perfect It's a perfect demonstration of the Democratic Party.
The earring like ding 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 hits the podium, but I was like, well, that's the end of that sentence. I mean,
oh my God.
And then Jasmine as well had also tweeted yesterday, why do I feel like Joe Biden's response is just gaslighting? And because listen, here's the thing. Democrats have had 2 fucking months to knock heads together in the House with the cinema or the Senate, the cinema and the mansion. They've had 2 fucking months. And that Clymer, the guy Clymer, what's his first name? He's the other head dem in the House who also went down to work for Cuellar. His response yesterday was, it's not as dire as it might seem, basically, is what he said. And I'm like, my God.
Okay.
I know the insurrection was bad. Let me just say that up front. I know it was bad. I got it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I got it. It's bad. But if there was ever a time that we should be dismantling this system, it's right fucking now. Because the one party that is supposed to be helping women and anyone with a uterus to help us and secure our rights
failed us
to privacy. This isn't about abortion. It's not about fetus. It's about the right to privacy. And if they're taking my rights to privacy, you motherfuckers, they're coming for yours next. That's what the whole thing. And because the Democrats don't know how to spin a motherfucking tail, they don't know how to do it. They got all of Hollywood in their back pocket. They don't know how to spin a fucking tail, right? You spin this as a right to privacy, they're coming for your guns. You just opened the door to take guns out. You know what we need? We need a national registry for guns. We need to know every gun in your house because you're not allowed to have that in private.
Please, but they won't do that.
Right?
Though.
Like, that's a fucking step.
They won't do that.
But how about spin it that way?
Right.
Hey, Republicans and right-wingers, here's what's coming next.
Right. What's in your doomsday closet, right-wingers?
You know? They don't know how to spin a fucking tail. And so here we are in a fucking dark motherfucking place, and don't think for a second that it's going to get any better anytime soon. It's not. And the session next year in Florida is going to ban this motherfucker. And if the Republicans win the midterms in November, which I know Democrats, I saw an amazing tweet, go vote is the Democrats' thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
That's their idea. That's their thoughts and prayers.
And the thing is, yes, you do need to vote. But the thing is, the dear Democratic Party, like, we need more than this. We need to be slamming these people the way that they slam the Democrats. We need to gin up the fear the way they gin up the fear about us.
Don't say gin to me. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to want to drink. I can't.
But we are facing this insane reality.
Yeah.
Because we have the trigger laws that are happening. Yep. And, you know, I was upset. I was like, I'm not even putting makeup on or anything today because I look like shit. I've been crying.
Nothing's going to stop me from putting makeup on.
But I just thought this morning of all of the women who are fucking crying.
Yeah.
And waking up fucking terrified and pregnant and getting phone calls going, we can't keep your appointment. We can't keep your appointment. We can't keep your appointment.
Or can you get in right now?
Right.
Can you cross 3 states to get over here now?
And they don't have the money.
Because in
and
10 days,
this
is over, right?
Like, this is where we are. That we have now, like, put women at risk. And then I keep thinking about that guy. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, so forgive me. The one in Texas who keeps putting forward that bill about let's make women who get an abortion criminalized and have them jailed. Like, you know that's coming next, right? That's coming next. Like, women are it's like that there are women in other countries that have more rights than women in America. And not to say, like, but you know, we're supposed to be the land of the free. Like,
leaders.
We're supposed to be the leaders, right, of the free world.
Oh my God. Clowns.
And we're not.
It's a clown show.
We're not. The fact that there are countries that have been known to be really marginalizing of women, and those women have more rights than we do.
Ireland.
Everyone should have
the most Catholic country in the world.
Same fucking rights. Yeah.
They've legalized abortion.
But I said this to you before. All those damn people sitting on the court are all Catholic.
Yeah. But they're maybe...
Where's the Pope?
Oh,
get your people in line.
Please. They don't like him. My ex-husband's so Catholic. Every pope, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't like this pope.
Because he's too progressive.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Meanwhile, he's like, I don't know how, what's he progressive about? The environment? Like, what has he actually said? He still says gays ain't good. Like, I don't know.
So, one of the things, there was an article, and I wanted to bring this up.
Wait. Before you do that, while we're still a little bit on the tail end of like who, like voting and how important that is.
Yes.
My point is that we do vote for you. We do put you in power. You've had a majority in the Congress and in the White House for close to 2 years now.
Where's the executive order?
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you asked us to vote, we put you in power, you fuck us. You don't make it a priority. You've never made an abortion a priority because it's been a fundraising coup for you. Making the money off of women and the fear of this. You have made billions of fucking dollars in the last 50 years. I got a fucking email from Nancy Pelosi seconds after she stepped off that fucking stage yesterday asking for me to fight for this. I got a text from the Florida Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Roe was just overturned. Will you help us fight? I'm like, these motherfuckers, these worthless fucks. We vote for you all the fucking time, Democrats, and you fail on every fucking level. And if you are not watching what the Republicans do, if they don't vote the way they're supposed to, they get the fuck out.
Yeah.
They primary these motherfuckers.
So let's start doing it. Like, what are we supposed to do?
There's no Henry Cuellar.
Progressive.
That's right. There's no room for Henry Cuellar. And when Jessica Cisneros said that if a national ban on abortion comes in front of the House, they don't have Henry Cuellar's vote. We know that.
Yeah.
And she was trying to be
Pelosi.
there. That was another Dem we are going to lose on that vote because your fucking lazy, old, crippling fucking ass can't get it together. You are out of touch with fucking reality. You can't even keep an earring on your ear. It's falling off. You can't speak clearly because, you know, with all your wisdom and experience, don't you see that your fucking time is up? I don't get this.
I don't either. And no disrespect, but
no
term limit.
Yes,
get
the fuck out.
Get
and
out.
A wise person would see, if I have a term limit, I've got this much time to get this much done. But if they think they've got all the time in the world.
No, they're going to make deals. The entire system is corrupt on both sides, right? It's all about money, lobbying, and all this bullshit. They don't give a shit.
They don't.
They don't give a shit.
And they're coming for us, and all they want to talk about in her speech is McConnell and Trump and the Senate Republicans. I'm sorry.
You're in power now.
Fucking Joe Biden.
You're in power.
I looked it up yesterday. Joe Biden was elected to the Senate in 1970 motherfucking 3.
Yep.
That's how long he was in the Senate. And then went from vice president to president.
I mean,
my God. He's been there for Roe. He was there when Roe fucking came into existence. And it never was a priority. You never made women a priority. So stop telling us to go vote when you fail us on every fucking level. You failed us again and again and again. No more. You need to show that you can actually do some fucking work.
I know.
Do the good work. Don't stare me in the face or my fucking daughter and tell us you couldn't do anything. You're a fucking liar and you've taken billions of dollars in this effort. No more. Sorry, Tina.
No, it's fine. It's
losers.
It's
losers.
Yeah, I mean,
because when they lose, they're supposed to be the good guys, and when they lose, we lose huge things. Yeah. We lose huge fucking things.
And here's the thing: when there was a rally yesterday, and some incredible speakers, and all I kept thinking was, is this going to matter in November? Because the other piece of the puzzle is that Democrats, as far as constituents, don't fucking vote as well. And so the reason I think that a lot of these old school Democrats stay in power is because we don't have a lot of people pushing to get the progressive candidate elected, or, you know what I mean? Like, everyone is still consumed with their phones or all these other distractions.
I think that's the other thing. The rise of that stuff is another reason why we lose.
There's a distraction, right? And like, people are not compelled. And our executive producer Alfredo says this all the time, like that people, if their person doesn't win the primary, right? We saw it with the whole Hillary Clinton thing. Like, they didn't like Hillary Clinton, so whatever, I won't vote. Well, then you're responsible too, because you're not going out and you're not voting for the progressive candidates. Like, you want to sit and you want to show up at a protest and you want to make your cute signs, but what else are you going to do?
Yeah. Where are you?
Where are you? Are you making phone calls? Are you knocking doors? Are you doing are you giving money?
Yeah.
Are you doing something other than showing up one day to chant and clap?
Yeah.
You know, and then you don't vote. You don't vote, and you have to vote every single election, and you have to vote Democrat down the line, and it can't be like, oh, well, you know, I really wanted this one to win, and this one doesn't feel the way I do about,
not
you know,
third party.
the environment.
Not third party.
Third party
Fuck
vote,
you.
please.
Fuck you with your third party.
Please.
Oh, here's the other thing, which is easy to do, and I hope, I know, I'm sure nobody mentioned this yesterday.
And fucking write-ins, like bullshit.
What?
Like when people write in, like, stop wasting everyone's
Nobody
time.
wants Kermit the Frog to be president,
It's
you
stupid.
fucking idiots. Although,
I mean,
he could, that banjo playing
I
is
know.
fun.
I mean, Rainbow Connection.
Fucking A. We need that. You know? Might be better.
It might be.
I mean, a puppet with his hand, someone's hand up his ass. Isn't that basically a politician?
That's where we are anyway.
I don't know if anybody mentioned this yesterday, but where that rally was, because we live in Broward County in Florida.
Right.
It's Blue County, but where that rally was is in Fort Lauderdale, and the Florida state rep for that is my good pal Chip LaMarca.
Oh.
Okay, and he's a pro-life Republican who said it that when he voted for the 15-week abortion ban, said he didn't think this is going to affect his re-election come November.
It better affect it.
This is what should be said to that crowd who's in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, if you're standing in this district, this is District 100, and it belongs to the last Republican, Chip LaMarca.
Yeah.
He voted to ban abortion. How do you feel about that? Here's Linda Thompson Gonzalez, who's running against him. Time to fucking pump her up. Right. Time to do it. If it's the one thing Linda does is go to Tallahassee and fucking replace Chip LaMarca and vote the right way on abortion,
please,
I'm fucking here for it.
Please.
That's the only thing she does. And also take him out, because I want to see him cry like the little bitch that he is. Bitch, motherfucker.
And this is the thing, like, we're in Broward County. The fact that we can't get this Chip LaMarca out, I don't understand it.
Joke. It's a joke.
It's the same thing. It's money, it's connections, and people are too afraid.
Yeah. And
we spoke to the lovely, lovely Lauren Book.
Ooh, that was on my short list of things to talk about before.
And
she was incredible.
She was incredible. And you know, speaking to her about how this fear, right, for Republicans, like they have this fear of, if I don't vote this certain way, like I'm going to be ostracized, I'm going to be, you know, essentially, you know, a stripped of committee role. You know, there's all of this retaliation that they're afraid they'll be primaried out.
Right.
We really need to start doing that with our Democrats.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, why is Manchin still sitting? Why are these other people still sitting in these seats? We need to put the pressure on them, and we really need, I know I always say, my husband and I were talking, that should be another tagline of the show, but my husband and I were talking.
Is the side co-host.
Yeah, he's a side co-host. But the Republicans galvanize around small issues. Abortion, right? We are pro-life.
Right.
We are pro-gun.
We should galvanize around abortion.
And we need to galvanize. It needs to be abortion.
Yeah.
Right? Freedom of choice. It needs to be healthcare. Like, that's what it needs to be.
I think education.
Education. I mean,
I do. I think schools, healthcare, abortion. That's what I think.
But it needs to be whatever. These are our three things, and that's it.
Well, that's what I was saying about during the Henry Cuellar.
And it needs to push and push and push and push and push.
Yeah. And during the Henry Cuellar episode, when I covered him a few weeks ago, I said, this is not the what did I say? It's the rule. Like, it should be the rule that as a Democrat, you are pro-choice.
And if you're not,
fucking
that's
stop.
it. You don't get money. You don't get support.
Yeah, not
you
in the case of like,
endorsement.
Oh, rape and incest. No, at all fucking levels, you are pro-fucking choice. And if you're not, there's the fucking door. You're in the wrong fucking party. They got this system, this broken fucking fucked up system gives us two parties. And if one of them isn't fully on for women's right to privacy, then you are not a fucking Democrat. Get the fuck out of my party. Get out of the way. You know, I texted you yesterday because I was editing, we interviewed the amazing Jennifer Davis a couple of weeks ago after we had heard this leak, and before yesterday when Roe was overturned, and I'm editing the listening, and we're screaming about this. We're screaming about all of this. And she's like, "Here we are. It's fucked up." And anyway, the screaming in that, like the screaming in this, where we're saying, "Why can't Democrats just stand for us? Just do it, do it."
But the other thing is,
wait. And I don't want to say I'm attacking all Democrats. You know who you are.
Yes.
You know who you are. So when you hear this, I don't say blanket Democrats.
Right.
I'm talking about people who can actually really do stuff and are on the fence, like, fuck you.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
So, the thing I wanted to say too is we are so goddamn lazy as a country.
Ooh, honey.
There's like so many things wrong. Like one, the Electoral College, right? Why do states like Wyoming, right, have more of a say than fucking California? Like, you know what I mean? Like, all of those people are not represented when we have the Electoral College was created, right, in a time that it was sort of needed, right? But our country, the landscape of our country has changed, and we need to really move with that. When you have that really none of these Republicans win by popular, of course that's why they want to hold on to the Electoral College, because they know they can't win any other way.
Right.
You know? And when we talk about the amendments, like the 14th Amendment and these amendments, those things came into play because the southern states, right, were not on board because of the end of slavery, and they didn't want to be part of the Union, so we have to do all this bullshit. So get rid of them. God. Can we just get rid of them? Can we just be two separate fucking countries? Because I don't align with any of this. And it is not in America that I want to be a part of, and we need to fight. Like, it's going to be civil fucking war. It's going to be a civil war because but everybody's sitting around and they want to say, like, they're outraged and they want to tweet and they want to put all this shit online. But where are they? Why are we not all in the fucking streets? Why aren't we all outraged and screaming and fighting? Like, it's good. We're going to keep going on, and we have guns, right? They kept saying that guns have more rights than women do. Mm-hmm. Your right to have a fucking gun. And we're going to live in Florida where next session they're going to get rid of abortion and probably have open carry.
Yep.
With permitless open carry.
That's all right. So a girl will get pregnant, can't get an abortion, and she'll just shoot herself. So.
Right.
Whatever, right?
Oh,
that was a great tweet. The life begins for Republicans, but life begins at conception and ends in a mass shooting in a classroom.
Yeah. My God. Whitney had a great poster, and I'm going to mess it up, but it was something like, if a gun is used to end abortion, like, is it okay then?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are we doing? I do not recognize where I live. Like, I think back, and I know, and I'm not that old. Hi, I still look cute.
Good, yes.
But like, I remember being a young person and not having the overwhelming fear that I have now as an older married woman with 2 kids with a husband who has a vasectomy. So like, I don't really have to.
Know that.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm not having more babies.
No. I was like, we're not having more babies. And it was very easy for him to do. It's so much, it's like such a more complicated procedure for a woman to like have her tubes tied. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to be on fucking birth control for like the end of time, especially as you're getting older. Like, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm forgetful. So,
I think I took that.
Yeah, like, fuck, like, I don't want to fuck that up. And then it's like, oh shit, I took 2. Like, God, like, it's too much stress, right? You just want to be able to, like, do your thing with your loved one. Hi. And not have to worry. And for him to do that, it was great, like, oh my God, we were so excited about it. But I don't have the worry that, like, if I was now Tina at 17, 18, 19, 20, like what these girls, these college girls, these young girls, these married women whose husbands maybe don't want, because there's a lot of men that don't want to do the vasectomy for whatever reason, and the weight and the burden of the birth control falls on their partner, their spouse, whatever it is. But if you have 2 kids, 3 kids, you don't want another kid. If the issue of it being, and I've said it before, like I acknowledge that like the rape and the incest and all of that is like a horrible thing, and 100%.
Yeah.
Like no question, it should just be you are permitted an abortion, but for any reason, nobody owes you their goddamn story about why.
Yeah.
You need an abortion, it's between you and your doctor, and that's it.
Yeah.
And this idea of viability is fucking pissing me off.
Right.
Because it's this is what I wanted to mention was this lady, she wrote an article called "I Prayed and Protested to End Roe. What Comes Next?" And she says, Roe v. Wade's reversal has elicited cries of anger and despair from those who feel a sense of dread for the future of women and the future of America. I understand that feeling of dread. As a pro-life advocate, I lament with those who feel they have lost a basic human right. And then she goes on.
Do you though? Do you?
No, because her thing is, what about the right of the baby?
Who gives a fuck?
Unborn baby.
Here's what I think about that.
Yeah.
That's what I think about the unborn
But we're
baby.
in a country,
You
right?
cunt.
We're in a country where once that baby is born, we don't have universal health care. We don't have funding for education.
We don't have
public
baby formula,
education.
bitch.
We don't have baby formula. God, we don't even have tampons right now.
Yeah, where's my tampons?
Like what? You know what I mean? Like you do not care about human life because you will have the mass shootings and you won't do shit about it.
Yeah.
Right?
What's your opinion on that?
It's
bitch.
so
you wino bitch.
Yeah, fucking wino. But I'm sick of this idea of viability because the fact of the matter is, at a certain point in pregnancy, right, you could be 5 months pregnant and unfortunately maybe go into an early labor or whatever. That baby is not viable. It cannot survive. I mean, it might be able to survive with all of the incubators and all of these other things to try to save that baby.
Mm-hmm.
But without that, it is not viable. It is not a baby, and we need to stop with this fucking language that it's a baby. It's not a goddamn baby.
Yeah.
And women should not be forced, to carry a child to term. I saw another tweet that was like, is that a gun in your waistband?
Yeah.
Or like, or is it forced labor?
Yeah, or is that your forced pregnancy?
I mean, forced pregnancy? Like,
well, the worst part is like, I'm listening to you say about viability and like fetus and all this stuff. It's like, this is a conversation we should not even be having.
No.
It's not a conversation that's even necessary. This country is not perfect. There are so many fucking things that need to be fixed. The fact that SCOTUS even picked this case up is outrageous. The fact that you and I are even trying to decipher between like what, like when you're saying like a pregnancy might last, you might have to give birth at 6 months and then the baby unfortunately passes away, right? Like it's not viable.
Right.
This is not a conversation unless it's happening to you. It's not a conversation I would ever have with anyone else, a girlfriend or a sister or whatever. But this is a private thing. This is something that happens that I shouldn't be having to determine or wonder, like, does this fit in this case or does this fit? The court shouldn't be deciding that, and anybody else who's outside of you and your partner and your doctor shouldn't be in the conversation of like, I wonder if this person should be okay to have an abortion. It's really none of your fucking business. You literally know no story, right? Like you know nothing. If there's abortions happening every fucking day in this country, you wake up, you have breakfast, you go to work, you go to bed, you wake up, you don't even go to work. Nobody's ever fucking, it's not in your face. Like if you're lucky, this misses you. Well, this is not a thing that is pleasant, that is happy, anything.
Yeah.
This is a hard fucking decision for someone to have to make on their own or with their partner or spouse. This is a fucking hard thing to do, and it never goes away. And so for you to want to have some sort of input on someone's private, I can't get that word out of my head, that private fucking decision. There was a tweet like, let's uplift all the employers who are going to pay for someone to travel to get an abortion. Yeah. And there's tons of corporations. And I thought to myself, I'm working at Disney. Right. Because Disney's one of them. Yeah. And I'm going to go to my boss and say,
I need an abortion.
Talk about not being private. Right. I'm pregnant and I don't want to be. How do I sign up for that travel fund? Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
To your boss. And it's already a stigma. Nobody wants to go and say, hey, I have to have an abortion. It's so fucking private. And you're going to go to your fucking employer and try to get, and hope that person's not judging you. Like, it's a whole fucking deal now that we have to go to private company employers.
Right.
If you're lucky to work for them.
If you're lucky
and ask them to help you get an abortion. Because the government has basically said, go fuck yourself and die in a dumpster, bitch.
Right. They don't fucking care. And the thing is, too, like, we have these well, Jasmine Rogers, I feel like, is always saying all the right things, but she pointed out, like, the issue of white women, and it was spoken about at that rally as well, that white women will always have access, right? White women of financial means. The mistresses of these Republicans will find a way to have an abortion, or the Republican will make sure his mistress finds a way to have an abortion. Their daughters, their granddaughters, their nieces, whatever it is, they will find a way. They'll get them to Mexico. They'll get them to Canada, wherever they need to go.
Mexico.
It will happen, right? But for people who do not have the financial means, it's not going to happen.
Right. Well, speaking of Mexico, when you just said that, that's what I was trying to remember earlier when I talked about Jennifer Davis. She talks about how they took this, like, excursion to Mexico to go through all of these medical facilities where abortion is legal. It's just part of their health care. And it's like, now they said, and she was saying that the nurses and doctors there said America used to be a beacon of, like, care for abortion, and now we're looking to Mexico for that. Not that that's a shitty thing to say. It's just like, we are, as Americans, we were always like, oh, America, and it's like we're now not that big for, like, abortion.
We've had this smoke blown up our ass that we are, like, somehow, like, so good, so righteous, like, that we are the saviors of the fucking world, right? And we haven't been. We have planted ourselves in countries and fucking destroyed it and decimated them and left. Yeah. We fucking just, all we care about is oil. Like when you look at all of the things, we really suck as a fucking country.
We do, but that's the whole thing. Like, we really with Bruce Springsteen's, like, Born in the USA, when I'm, like, a kid, I was like, fucking yes. Like, we were raised on this, like, America.
But then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh shit.
But, like, you're also like, this whole thing of patriotism, as it kind of starts to fade as you get older and you start to see things. For some people, that shit never faded. And they're like, yeah, fuck the world. America's number one. Nationalism is everything. Like, and so issues like this don't fucking matter to them. They've lost sight of, like, their humanity.
Well, I wanted to talk about some of the highlights from the ruling, just so we can kind of talk about some of the points and talk about how they're wrong. So these are some quotes, starting with Alito. Oh, God, this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Roe was egregiously wrong from the start.
Oh, God, this is going to fucking piss me off.
Its reasoning was exponentially weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. And far from bringing about a national settlement of the abortion issue, Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division. So, you know, he's framing this as, like, that this has been this contentious thing, and ever since it's been in effect, like, it's caused
it's got to go away, even though it's actually a protection for people. But it's got to go away because it causes... Thanksgiving's not comfortable anymore.
Right. And but what is causing that deep sort of division is, again, religion. And I know I'm reading that book, so maybe I'm a bit influenced right now, but religion poisons everything. Because it's these religious groups that have been funneling money to politicians, and that's the other thing, right? They got that money in the politician's pocket, and that's pushing legislation. That's pushing for these conversations, because there was a time, and you covered it when we did our abortion episode
123. Go back and listen to it.
Yeah, back in episode 123, where Republicans were on board with abortion. Many Republicans were on board, and it's really not until we get more of this infiltration of religious ideology and having politicians with these strong sort of religious beliefs that they are using when they govern, that we have really gone off track as a nation. Like, it's insane to me.
Yeah.
It's insane. And we're seeing it, and this is a segue, but we're seeing it in the state of Florida with Mr. DeSantis's little civics training that he wants our students to have. And I said to my husband months ago, I'm very curious as to what the curriculum is going to look like. And I have a friend who was in that training who was told basically, well, first it was a rant on communism. Then it was, there's no such thing as separation of church and state. This is from the Florida Department of Education.
This is in the textbooks that the kids are going to get in the fall.
Right. Well, I don't know if this is in the textbooks, but this is like in the training for the teachers who are going to be providing information. Okay. And then it was all of this bullshit about how like the republic is seated in religion. I want a copy of the training, and I feel like as citizens of this state, we can request that because I want to go through it so that I can sue when my children sit in a class with this fucking they talk about like we indoctrinate. This is crazy.
Oh, and you know what else?
This is crazy. Speaking about, we are not a Christian nation. Yeah. We are not a Christian nation. And if the Catholics sitting on SCOTUS, the evangelicals don't like you. They don't like Catholics either. So you think you're safe for the moment, but you're not, right? Unless you're following like their fucking belief, like no one is safe. Yeah.
Speaking of like separation of church and state, did you see there's a Jewish church in Miami that is suing the state over the 15-week abortion because it's against their religion? Yes. Which is kind of the point. Yes. It's kind of the point is that you want freedom of your religion, but you want to enforce your religion on everyone else. And that's really, I don't see how lawmakers who are religious, like SCOTUS folks, can see that. They don't see that. How can I see it as an idiot and they don't see it as like, I feel like they lawmaker,
they
like
know it, and they don't
care. Like how do you not see the differences that your religion enforcing it on others is not freedom of religion?
I know.
It's just wild. It doesn't make any sense. And how can you sit there and also it shouldn't be lifetime appointments. Can we stop with this? Oh my God. Please? Can we stop with this, please?
Lifetime appointments. Again, old people get off. And the fact too, like they're not elected, right? They're appointed. And that's the thing that's scary too, because then it's like someone like Trump. Right. Sat three. We're gonna be living with this till I'm fucking dead. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Amy Coney Barrett's basically walking around bikinis. That's how young this bitch is. That's what I always equate. If they can wear a bikini. Now I wear a bikini, but it's very lumpy and doughy.
Oh please!
But she does it because that's how it goes. But it's my privacy. It's the privacy of my backyard.
Yes. Back to privacy.
Privacy. Oh my God. I don't know if my neighbors care, like mine, but that's what I'm just gonna scream.
There,
it's private.
Over the fence. Like,
no, they're like, oh God, there's that.
Please.
Here's that horrible divorcee trying to get her ass tan again. Oh my God. Somebody called me that this week, the Florida divorcee, and I was like, that's hot.
I like that.
Oh my God.
All right, so here's something else that was in there. The inescapable conclusion is that a right to abortion is not deeply rooted in the nation's history and traditions. So again, right, it wasn't explicitly written about in the Constitution, so it doesn't exist. It's such garbage. But we know that abortions have been happening.
Yeah, we did it on our story 123.
Yes.
But it has been happening since this country, way before the
country.
Since they got here, they're like, listen, we can't handle all these kids. Figure this out. But also, it was always
since the beginning of time, people have had abortions.
But also 50 years ago, SCOTUS already did this. They said this is not for us to be deciding. A fetus is not a person. If a doctor, a priest, a lay person, they can't figure it when life begins. As jurists, we can't figure that out either. But apparently, Alito and Kavanaugh and Clarence Thomas and whatever that other fucking asshole's name is, they all fucking know when conception happens.
And the other thing is, isn't it wonderful that men who have been accused, allegedly,
let's revisit those cases.
Of assault, get to tell women what to do.
Yeah. Clarence Thomas and Kavanaugh have both been accused of sexual assault, in my opinion, very credibly. In my opinion.
I mean, that Kavanaugh with that,
and they all fucking lied. They all lied and said they wouldn't do this. Also, like to thank Joe Biden for fighting for Clarence Thomas to be on the Supreme Court. That's how long Biden's been there.
Yeah.
he put that motherfucker in and attacked Anita Hill. You know what?
I know.
Fuck Biden. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? That guy, go watch the fucking Anita Hill hearings. Joe Biden fought for fucking Clarence Thomas to be there. Now Clarence Thomas's wife's involved in the insurrection. There's all kinds of shit happening in that fucking house. What's happening in the Clarence Thomas house? Anarchy, bitch. Anarchy. And he fucking follows up his opinion in the afternoon talking about how, by the way, we should revisit birth control, conception, or contraception, fucking marriage equality.
P.S. though, he didn't include interracial marriage in that.
No, we're not going to visit the loving
case? No, that's just the other one.
Okay, yeah.
Just the other.
Whatever doesn't benefit you.
Yeah.
You cunt.
Oh, here's another.
Supreme Court, fuck you.
I know.
What the fuck? Why are we uplifting these archaic systems of fucking oppression? That's what this is.
I know. Like, why?
It's been 9 people deciding our laws, and for a long time it was 9 white men.
Yeah.
9 white men. We finally get people of color on there and women. Winos.
Well, oh God, that Amy Coney. Oh, I can't.
The crazy eyes bitch.
Oh, she does have crazy eyes.
And Clarence Thomas's wife was in a fucking cult 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Did you see that?
She was in a cult.
Yeah, and so she's got one of those minds that can get duped.
Which is why she's on board with this insurrection.
That's right.
And like the people that can't see it, number one, why isn't Thomas stepping down from SCOTUS when his wife is involved in an insurrection?
He should be fucking taken out.
He should be taken out.
Where are the
called?
Rules? What's it called? I forgot what it's called.
I don't know. Like, remove him, impeach him, get rid of him.
Yeah, you can do that. We should do that.
I don't know. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, and if he's going to claim he doesn't know what his wife is up to.
Oh, please, bitch.
Please.
Ugh, could you imagine those two fucking...
Oh, God.
Have you seen them?
Ugh.
Honey, not doing it.
Yeah.
Not happening. What a fucking mess.
All right, I want to read another, just another couple things. I thought this was really interesting. Quote, the most obvious problem with any such argument, arguing, for Roe, is that viability is heavily dependent on factors that have nothing to do with the characteristics of a fetus. One is the state of neonatal care at a particular point in time. Due to the development of new equipment and improved practices, the viability line has changed over the years. So what's funny to me is that scientifically, right, we can recognize that changes and advancements have happened, right? But we can't recognize that the Constitution, right, needs to maybe grow and evolve and change because things have changed and evolved over time, right? It's just, so you can recognize it for one thing, but you can't recognize it for the Constitution, right? We have to adhere to exactly what the founding fathers wanted. But we can recognize that there's all these like changes in science for viability. Yeah. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, they shape the argument to fit what they like, what they approve. What they
like their narrative, and not to mention that a lot of these southern states, right, have shitty healthcare. Yeah, don't provide great healthcare because like they're run by Republicans. So, God damn it. And then this is my favorite. Nothing in this opinion should be understood to cast doubt on precedents that do not concern abortion. Okay, we believe you, right?
Yeah, but then he followed up with
Thomas.
With Thomas's.
Yeah.
It filed his additional opinions.
Right. So Alito could be like, well, I'm going to say that. But you know that they are coming for the LGBTQ community. They're coming for our birth control. I mean.
You know what I'm going to do when I watch it? I'm going to sit back and watch it all happen. Because we fucking told you, motherfuckers.
Yep.
And I love that caucus we sit on. I love it. I love standing up there and like helping this community and showing up as an ally time and fucking time again. But if everybody at those meetings doesn't show up at an abortion rally, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. If you don't care about this and you're in the LGBTQ community, you're not fucking paying attention and your rights will be taken away. And then what? You're gonna bitch and cry about it? You gotta come out for women. I don't understand this.
I know.
Like, I don't understand any of this. I don't understand why we are so fucking disposable to so many fucking people. How this issue, if it's so like, I don't know, I think it's just that their narrative has seeped into everyone. And it's like a quiet thing nobody wants to talk about. It's not quiet. It's a real fucking medical procedure that women need to save their life, to live a life, to go on with their life without having the burden of raising a child or the burden of physical, carrying a baby and giving it up for adoption.
I mean,
you don't have the right to do that.
No, it doesn't, and especially now, the thing is too, if we had proper sex education in these states, the southern states specifically, right? They don't want sex education. They don't want access to birth control. If you have a state where kids learn about reproduction and how to access birth control, right? If you have then girls maybe being able to recognize symptoms of pregnancy or feeling safe to talk to a parent or other people about it, then they would maybe, if they did happen to get pregnant, if their birth control failed, or who knows whatever reason, they can then go and get an abortion early or take a pill. It's a pill. It's not even like it was.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, my sister-in-law is stocking up on Amazon. There's morning after pills, and she's bought like a ton of them for her daughters and her granddaughters if they ever need them. But like, that's something to do too.
Yeah.
That's something to have. And the problem with that, the only thing I'm like is like, it's on Amazon. Is it real? Like, what's this company? Like, I don't know. Like, are we relying on this as being a real this thing's actually going to work? I don't know.
And the dangers of that too. Yeah. The dangers of buying things online.
Yeah. But,
so we talked a little bit about Thomas, but the cases that he mentioned that we talked about already was the Griswold versus Connecticut. And that was the 1965 decision that basically said like married couples had a right to contraception. So he's calling that into question. He wrote basically that the court should, quote, reconsider and, quote, correct the error of these precedents. He says it right there.
Yeah.
So if you don't think that like, now our birth, so we don't want abortion.
Yeah.
But we also don't want people to access birth control.
To prevent having an abortion.
Right? So it's like
it's
want
all
you not
about
to have
procreation.
Right.
It's all about babies. God's will, which is God's will.
Or being abstinent, right? Because like that's a thing.
Meanwhile, you got Kim Kardashian and all this fucking bullshit with women having to be like sexy. Like this whole thing now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like we live in a world or society where everything's like, be modest. It's not. And by the way, it doesn't fucking matter anyway. It's none of your fucking business about my tits hanging out. They're very beautiful.
They are.
Thanks.
Ooh.
It's natural. But fuck you. It's none of your fucking business.
And then the other two cases. Oh.
Here's the other thing. My fucking kids know how babies are made.
Yeah.
And we use real words like, you get an erection, it goes inside the vagina, then your sperm comes out, they swim and they hit the egg. My son asked me, my daughter started talking about periods, and my son's like, what is this? And I'm like, well, the egg sits on the lining of the uterus, and then when it the little sperm doesn't meet the egg, then it comes out, everything, the lining, right?
Yeah.
Like, my kids know how babies are made. So that when, they're in the house, I don't want to say it too loud, but like, when the day comes, they're going to know how to stop that fucking shit from happening.
Right.
Because
they should.
They should be able to live their lives, have sexual freedom, both of them, and still be able to live a life. This is outrageous.
It's outrageous. And again, women bearing the brunt of it because we're the ones who get pregnant, right? And where are the men? Where are the men? And I said this before, I want to hear from men who can say, my partner had an abortion. We decided to have an abortion. I support abortion. Where are these men coming out to talk about how they supported people that they love in their lives through this really difficult choice?
I can't
imagine.
And
I don't want to say like that we need men, but we need them to show up in support.
Yeah.
So it's not just women up there.
It's about visibility.
Alone.
It's about visibility. That's how the LGBTQ community became so powerful. Is they all came out because they were dying. Well, now this is what's going to happen. Your wives, your sisters, your daughters are going to be dying. The first death will be soon because of this. No doubt about it. And the media,
like the suicides,
everything. Someone trying to take care of it themselves, taking a pill that was fucking a sugar pill that they bought over online or whatever, like, and then all of a sudden they're showing and they can't believe they're fucking pregnant. Yeah. It is a real fucking thing, and these deaths are coming. The deaths are coming,
and the trauma that we are putting on women. It's trauma.
I can't imagine what it's like to be a man right now. Like, and here's the thing. I heard from a handful of men yesterday, like privately. Josh sent us a text directly, both of us, which was so sweet. But he's just like, I'm so sorry. But that's the kind of support I heard from a handful of men who were fucking amazing and supportive and really kind, and reached out and was like, we're with you. We're here with you. They posted publicly about it.
Right.
They don't have any means whatsoever or any way whatsoever to be hiding what they support and who they support. And I'd also like to thank Beard Owl Podcast. I'd like to thank Because Fuck You, That's Why Podcast. I'd like to thank Super Media Bros. I'd like to thank, I think, was that it from Pod Askew, which is no longer on our network, and neither is Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But all of those podcasts either retweeted our tweet that we put out about the abortion or said something on their own. And I'd like to thank those podcasts in our family for supporting us yesterday, because we had a really fucking hard time, and those podcasts stepped up and actually said something, and that fucking means a lot to me. It really does.
And there's so many other I know I follow Podgerland, and she is incredible, and she did so much posting about ways to support, and it's about being visible, and but it can't just be today.
Right.
It can't just be. It has to be. It has to be relentless.
Right.
You know.
So here's my suggestion, and what I've read and what I'm doing is that this is now a thing. We're gonna cry and we're gonna scream and we're gonna be really fucking angry for a long time about it, and we are going to need all the support we need, because now we're starting at ground zero, right? And we need to rebuild.
And
that's what we talked to Jennifer Davis about. When you'll hear that coming up on a Little Muck, but next Friday. This Friday, right? Yeah, coming up in 2 days. We talk about how now we were back at ground zero as if Roe never existed, and we needed to work it at states, which is what RBG said all the time. It needs to be a state issue. So now we need to start at ground zero and rebuild that power. And we have us. Right. We are now the elders of the community, Tina, and we have our daughters, and this is who we need to start fighting for. But so in the meantime, it's going to be a long fight. Going to be a good couple of decades to get back, hopefully, to where we need to be.
Oh my God.
Because in Florida, we're in a lot of trouble, but it's going to take a long time to get there. In the meantime, abortions are still going to happen.
Right.
And there are funds everywhere. We will put a link up in our notes. But there are funds in every single state. Which is not Planned Parenthood is great, yes. Right. But there are local groups like Broward Women's Emergency Funds that help women who come in, because now Mississippi's done in 10 days. They're done from today. So Mississippi women are coming into Florida as a refuge. So we help women here get abortions from out of state in Florida for as long as we can. And then even when it's illegal, we're still going to be fucking doing it. So we need funds to go to these groups to support these folks.
And there is a website. It's called abortionfunds.org, and we'll put a link to it. But in that, on that website, you can search on the national level of different organizations, and you can go state by state.
Right.
So you can look for your own personal state.
Yes.
And
which I would recommend.
Yes. Yeah. And see, like, on the state level, some are multi-state, some are full national, and some are just like at the state level. And see how you can help your personal. We need your time and your money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe if you're living in Colorado right now where you're good, maybe you should be giving to Alabama or Florida. But like, you know what I mean?
But the states you can look there and you can look for those different organizations. And like in Florida, it's the Broward Women's Emergency Fund. There's Emergency Medical Assistance. There's the Florida Access Network. There's so many organizations that need support.
Yeah.
And really, the sort of underground network.
Yeah.
That's what all women, we need to join, find, and find a way to help. We need people to be at abortion clinics.
Yes.
To escort women and allow them to walk in and to confront the monsters that are standing up there judging them with their signs. That's what we need, because it's scary to get out of a car and walk into a clinic.
Men can be escorts.
Men can do that.
Yep.
And everyone should do that.
I think they encourage you not to get involved with the people protesting, but it's a way to
block them and get these women inside safely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Come on. And like we said at the top of this, you need to vote in every damn election, special election, midterm election, every single election. It is your duty to vote, and you need to vote progressive. And you need to give your money to progressive candidates, and you need to have the conversations with the people in your lives that we often, and I'm guilty of it, I often avoid conversations sometimes with certain members of my family because it's easier. But it's like, it's over. We have to have these conversations because like women's lives are at stake, our LGBTQ community lives are at stake. Like everyone is at risk.
And wherever you are, if you are in need of help and need an abortion, please send us an email immediately. We can find you help, especially if you're in Florida.
Yes.
Please reach out to us. We can absolutely find you help. We have connections. We know people who are doing this work. So please, please, please. Planned Parenthood is still up and running. It is still legal in Florida to have an abortion. So, but if you need help finding ways, finding whatever, please reach out to us. If you are sitting here listening to this thinking, my God, I've got to do something, please reach out to us and we will point you in the direction that you need to go to get this done.
Right.
It is, I want everybody to vote, but more importantly, I want everybody to live. And I don't want anybody to die because of this fucking bullshit. We are better than this as a country. As much as I hate this fucking monstrous place, we are a great country. We have
the
good
potential
people
to
here.
be
Abortion,
good.
more than 60% of this country wants abortion to stay safe and legal. This went against the majority opinion of this country.
Again. So we are being silenced. We are being silenced in this country. We are being silenced by a minority.
Our power is in the voting booth. That's where it is. And I don't want to be the Dem party, be like, vote, vote, vote. I wish they were better. Believe me, you've heard me time and time again on this podcast. I want to dismantle that party and make it better.
There are good people. Yeah. We have great people in our state.
When it comes to putting their money where their mouth is, we got amazing fucking people.
Right.
And but we need more.
We need more.
We need more. And then we talked to Lauren Book about that. Like she can have all the plans and stuff that she wants, but until we give her the power she needs and people,
nothing can happen
in the fucking Senate. We can't stop shit. And this fucking DeSantis, he's gonna be reelected. And I am telling you, I thought about that this morning. This 4 years is gonna be fucked up. And he yesterday said he is looking for more pro-life policies in the next session. Like that's what he wants, and whatever that motherfucker wants on his agenda, he gets it. Because they all fall in line because they're pussy coward motherfuckers.
And here's the thing: he's going to, in October, try to do the gas tax. He's going to do all these things to show how great he is. And because we are selfish people, it's going to be like my money, my money, my money. The economy, the economy, the economy. The gas prices, gas prices, gas prices. Food prices, and all of that is incredibly important, right? However, that's all a distraction as they take away all of our rights. So people who are just don't care enough to vote, there are other people that are going to get out and vote because they're going to think, oh, he's saving us from high gas prices. Oh, he's going to flip things around. You know what I mean? And that's how Biden's going to get removed, right? It's an orchestrated plan. You think you don't think it's funny that like the oil prices are all jacked up and we're moving into election season? Like, give me a break. Yeah. Like, people are so
Republicans
blind.
have had a chance to change the gas prices. They've had a chance. And they voted against it. Rubio's like, I can't believe how high the gases are. Votes against the, the reduction in the gas.
It's ridiculous.
It's so fucked up.
Because they all have their hands in every politician's pocket. These oil companies, these corporations.
And they all listen.
This
and you know what else?
late-stage capitalism of America is going to destroy us.
Yeah, and also
greed. Corporate greed is going to destroy us. I'm sorry.
I just think you're always at the end of a sentence, and then it like keeps going, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not reading the room right.
I'm just like, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. Your anger makes my heart beat so fast. I love it. That's why I like to sit here with you every week. I think that the hypocrisy of it all is astounding, and until the American people, I don't know what you need. Do you need a daughter bleeding out in her bedroom in the middle of the night? I don't know what you need to understand how important this is.
I know. I mean, does it need to be a reality show? You know what I mean? Like, it's like we are so fucking focused on stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
instead of the things that matter.
Yeah.
They care more about, a fucking dress that Kim Kardashian fucking didn't break or whatever, than what's happening to people in our country.
First of all, that was an outrage. Okay, she should never have worn that dress. Number two, I read a whole article in New York Times about the abortion clinic, the Planned Parenthood in Fort Myers. They're basically open 24 hours a fucking day because
they're bursting at the seams
because of the influx from out of state patients in Fort Myers, which is 2 hours.
We gotta
west
see how
of here.
we can help.
Like the girl, there was a picture of a woman there who's just like works there, who's just like holding her head, like writing a thing. Like they are
exhausted.
Overrun with cases, and those are the lucky women
that get there.
Those are the women who have the means and the opportunity and the time to make that trip. Which is, quite frankly, would be me. Or someone in my family. I'd go out of my fucking way to make sure that it happened. I'd be able to do that. And I'm donating monthly now to Broward Women's Emergency Fund what I can. And it's like $25 a month. But whatever you can give will help them. And that's the least I can do. That's the least I can do. You were talking about maybe volunteering to escort, women into the buildings.
I mean, we have to do something. We cannot.
We need to build power.
We can't.
And we need to build power, and also to relieve the women who have been doing it already.
Yeah,
there are women that we know that are dear friends that have been doing this work forever. Escorting, helping, making arrangements in the middle of the night, waking up when they get an emergency call from another state to help that woman, making plans for her. This is not, and also the friend that we were talking about earlier. The last time I talked to her about this, it's a shortage of doctors who will actually do this. Like that's the thing now is there's a shortage of doctors who will perform.
Who wants to be a doctor when you're going to get sued? When you could be arrested? You know what I mean?
There's like one or two maybe left. It's like a nightmare.
What is going to happen in this country when nobody wants to be a gynecologist or an OB because they're afraid? Or, then that they're going to go against their oath as a doctor to not help someone in need. It's just...
There'll always be someone to do it. What the problem is we need to make sure that they're actually
safe.
They're technically certified to do it, because God knows some fucking asshole somewhere is going to be like, yeah, I'm a doctor.
Right. Oh my God.
The other reason why money is important for these funds too is because of we've talked about it before on the podcast, but it's travel, but it's also like a 24-hour waiting period. So now in Florida, that's a thing where you have to wait 24 hours. So it's lodging, right? Yeah. It's getting them here, having them go see the doctor, stay overnight, and go back the next day.
That they do too is that I don't know if they're like sort of safe houses for women to stay at. There's so many different ways that you can help if you don't have the money.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do that. They can sleep on my couch. I whatever. I'll pull out the couch for them.
Yeah.
I mean, fine.
I mean, we have to figure it out.
That's free.
Yeah. We have to do something.
Yeah. So I don't know. This was our podcast today. Yeah. What do you think? Did we hit everything? I mean, we're not gonna solve the fucking problem here. But we've sounded the alarm so many fucking times. We did an entire episode about this already.
I know.
Like
we've had guests on Lil Muck that have talked about this.
Yeah.
Several guests.
Yeah.
But really, you have to be engaged.
Please.
Like, do something. Do one thing. If it's $5, you know what I mean? Just do something.
Please.
And then send a text to your friend saying, I did this, can you do it too?
Yeah. Protests and rallies are great. Making signs are great.
Yeah.
But when push comes to shove,
money and time.
We need you.
What is it Nick always says?
Time, treasure, talent.
Yeah. And testimony. Yep. We need it. All right.
Listen. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm so sorry.
I'm going to go cry again.
I don't blame you. I'm going to cry too, but I've got makeup on, so it'll be like, you're so cute though.
You're always cute.
Oh, yeah. Wait, let me just make sure there's not another thing on my list, but I guess, my shit was so stupid. I mentioned Jessica Cisneros and the Lil Muck with Lauren book, which will be amazing.
Yes.
Everything else can wait till next week, including our stories, which will be an LGBTQ story in July.
Yes.
Who cares?
Who cares?
It's fine.
Yes.
The world just ended. We're gonna be fine. We'll figure it out. But
thank you guys.
Hey, thank you for listening and coming back. And I know this is probably all over the place and just us.
You know what? But it needs to be all over the place because it's how I feel like we feel like a lot of women feel, and it's hard to, like you said earlier, unpack all of these feelings and emotions. So if it's kind of like going all over the place. It's just, that's how our emotions are going.
Yeah.
That's just,
I mean,
how it is.
Yeah.
So
I don't have anything else to say. I'm worn out. I got in the pool last night. Oh, I got my booster.
Oh, yay.
My arm sore. And then went to dinner with my family, my kids and my ex-husband. Came back, went in the pool, had a little glass of wine. It was starry night, honey. I'm like laying, like looking up at the stars, floating in my pool, like crying. Of course, crying.
Yeah.
But what a mess.
What a mess. What a world, what a world, what a world.
Well, I mean, I'm 44. I'm hoping by 64 we can fix this. Like, Jesus. I don't know. I mean, if we're still making this podcast, that's the other thing. Like, this is a very historic moment in history. Like, this is a moment we would have covered on the podcast, right? Like, we covered Roe being passed. Like, this is a moment we would have covered on the podcast. So maybe 20 years from now, we'll be still doing this, making millions of dollars. And saying, remember that day we recorded and it was overturned and now here we are again?
And it was a post-Roe world.
Yeah.
It's so sad. All right, guys. Thank you.
Love to our friends. Yes. Love to our anyone with a uterus who's listening to this and is terrified. We are with you.
Yes.
Always. And to our male allies who step up in support in any way, whether it's a text or a call or money giving to these organizations.
Thank you.
Let the universe bless you and bring you lots of gifts. All right. Well, till next time, bitch.
All right. Bye.
Bye.